I believe that is us all here. Yeah, we are here. We have arrived for once, finally. It took some work, but we can get there. 3 echoes. Mm-hmm. Well, fine. Mostly, I'm being fit. I've bought a thing with another thing. I have Ring Fit, and it surprisingly works pretty darn well. I had some pretty sore muscles at some point. It's like, I don't know if I want to do this again today. Which generally is what I did with a gym, so at least in that sense it's the same. Fair. You gotta make up for it. Okay.
About DDR and how, like, yeah, we almost went to.
Give it a second. I think something blew up for a second there. I think I fixed it now.
What blew
Okay.
up?
Okay. Audio should be
But
good
yeah,
now.
we were trying to find a way to tire out his child. And I mentioned going to an arcade, and I was like, but I don't have the money to play DDR all night. And they were like, yeah, I don't have the energy anymore to play DDR all night. I'm like, yeah, I probably could play one song on regular. And
I wish I could play DDR.
I miss it. I used to play it all the time.
I remember when it was the thing to do in high school.
The only
My
place
lady
I
has
know
a
semi nearby that has DDR. It's like 1.5 hour away, at the very least. And I don't know, it dampens the, like, oh, let's go DDR mode.
my lady has a Cobalt Flux, which is like a arcade grade home pad, and had just cleaned it and set it back up and loaded all of her ROMs onto her computer. Had a friend over and was playing earlier today.
I had the shitty plastic ones you could roll up and immediately lost sensitivity. Oof.
Yeah, those ones suck.
I think I still
And
have
you,
one
like,
of those somewhere in my, like...
And either you fall on your face because of your socks, or your feet stick to the pad and you get stuck and fall on your face. It's like,
I think I
there's
did
no
pretty
in-between.
well when I had it back then for the PlayStation, but that was a long time ago. It was one of those, like, it wasn't even an actual DDR game. It was one of those real fake ones, which one of those real fake pads. It didn't work half the time, but I was like 8 years old and didn't care. I could have a reason to be hyperactive. And then I got that one, and then I didn't care anymore because this one was way cooler. And that's all I did.
Yes.
I was
Did
trash can at Guitar Hero. I could do other rhythm games, no problem, but Guitar Hero, I was just terrible at.
I always was someone who was good at the Guitar Hero kind of stuff, but at least I thought. Did anyone see the HGDQ run for Guitar Hero? Because that's
I didn't. This year, I saw one like back in 2016, but this year I did not see it.
Nope, this year, Clone Hero. Go watch it. If you ever thought you were good at this, no. Literally, they did Through the Fire and the Flames at the end of it, just for the heck of it. At Expert. That was the easy one. By far.
That's awesome.
Most of the songs they played had more notes than Through the Fire and the Flames even had in like within the first half. It was ridiculous, and it just.
Is this our first game of the new year, or have we played already this year?
Just a packet loss. This is the first game
Yeah,
of
this is
Bag
the
of
first New
Bones.
Year.
Oh well, happy new decade, everybody.
Yay!
I guess I'll just to keep the pre-show banter going. What is one thing about this past year in geekdom that you guys have really appreciated? Just one thing. It doesn't have to be the top. Just something that was like really good in 2019.
Sirah.
That's a good one.
That's pretty good. Yeah, this season of Sirah was great.
So I can semi give a cop out answer.
Are you gonna say The Mandalorian?
No, I haven't even watched The Mandalorian because it came out in 2018, but I only got into it in 2019.
What's this?
I've been reading Pathfinder 2 last week. And
nice.
It's almost like the weirdly proud feeling of seeing like your child that had the shitty drawings grow up and make better drawings over time. It's like, you did so well! In comparison to one, I'm like, yay! All these things are so good! Keep on going!
Zev, I'm sorry. I'm like moving my camera a ton. I apologize. It's just like I feel like looking at the stream and seeing it, it looks like I'm like looking off to the side real hard. So
whatever you want to do, if you keep on doing it, it'll just turn your camera off and then it won't be a problem anymore. We'll just be avoid. It's
that's
fine.
one way to solve the problem.
I can't decide between the Resident Evil 2 remake and Kingdom Hearts 3 Houses, because they both are really great for different reasons. But like the Resident Evil 2 remake,
I'm thinking
no, Kingdom. I meant to say Fire Emblem. I meant to say Fire Emblem. Did I say Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah,
you said
Kingdom
Hearts 3 Houses.
Which honestly, if I think about it, that would be a pretty awesome game.
Kingdom Hearts 3 sucked, though. It was the biggest disappointment.
I haven't played it yet. And I'll probably it because I'm a fucking sucker for those games. I don't care.
I mean, the game was good, don't get me wrong. It was enjoyable to play, but it was a disappointment because I was just expecting so much. I killed myself with expectation.
I guess I probably enjoy myself. I hope.
But the reason why Resident Evil 2, not just because it was a great game to play, but it sets a new expectation for the entire series of Resident Evil, going back and trying to do it in like following the camera angle of Resident Evil 4, but keeping the suspense and horror from the original 3. I will love to see that. Like, I know they're releasing Resident Evil 3, but I want to see Code Veronica and Resident Evil 1 like that as well. Like, I'd love to see. But I mean,
the fact that they're bringing out 3 is already a good, like, sign that you're probably gonna get a bunch of other ones. Though, to be fair, Code Veronica is the one with the weird leeches, wasn't it?
No, that's Zero. Code Veronica is actually my favorite Resident Evil game.
Okay. It's like, I both love and loathe to see the weird leeches Resident Evil to become a thing again.
Code Veronica's story was almost as batshit insane as Resident Evil 4's story was.
It's pretty batshit.
Yeah. The Resident Evil 4's takes the cake by far, though. It's so silly.
I mean, don't you want HD boulder punching? Let's get that 5 remake.
Real-time events.
To be fair, if we have to get HD anything that is redonkulous, then I just want HD Final Fantasy VI to suplex a train.
Yes.
That would be great, too.
If we have to do I mean, to be fair, that's just basically playing Asura's Wrath, but... it's the same idea. Or any old God of War game. And a small parts of the new one, I guess. I don't know.
So I guess we haven't heard from Kelsa. Kelsa, what about you? What about your favorite nerd thing from the year of 2019? So long ago it has been.
Forever.
Long lost in the annals of history.
I'm going to say something completely off the wall that I don't think I've talked to any of you about before.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the new Brandon Sanderson novel, the the sequel to Skyward, Star Song. What is it called? Now I have to look it up. But it was Brandon Sanderson's new sci-fi novel about a kick-ass chick who is a space fighter pilot, and she has to
this
go
sounds
on
good already.
just go on some wacky fucking crazy ass adventures.
It's a flashbulb.
Yeah. I mean, Starsight, that's it. So first novel is Skyward. It's about her going from being a fighter pilot to being a space fighter pilot, and then learning some interesting things about herself in the process. And then Starsight is about her taking the information that she learned at the end of the first book and then diving into that shit and finding out more about the universe than we used to know. And it was really great, amazing world building.
So would you say buy the 2 books, or would you say like go to the library and borrow the first one and see how you feel? Like, is it one of the recommendations, like it doesn't matter who you are, just like read this book, or is it like it really depends on what your interests are, you may not like it kind of book?
I always believe it always depends on what your interests are. It's that I stand by that 100%. There is no piece of media that I would recommend completely blindly saying no matter what you will enjoy this, because there's always going to be factors. But
there is obviously the song Private Eyes by Hall & Oates. No?
I can still remove your camera.
Can you mute?
Sadly, I'd mute all of you except for me, which, hey, then it's just a me show.
Can you teach me how to do that in real life?
No. So that's my recommendation. I personally really enjoyed it. If you like coming of age stories, if you like kick-ass female fighter pilots, if you like space stuff, and especially if you like turning expectations on their heads, then I would definitely say it's a very good book. It also has a really good because it's good sci-fi, there is a lot of really good nods to the current political situation and like
so
what
is
if you
it
take that to an extreme kind of a thing.
Is it sci-fi or sci-fantasy, I guess is a good question. Like, does
Both?
it kind of get lost in the sauce of tech?
There is a lot of basically it has a lot of science fiction, like hard rules about how the universe works, but then there's a small dusting of, but we can get around it because psychic bullshit.
Okay, so there's at least a little bit of the hand wavium. Okay, got it.
But it's not exactly hand wavium in it so much as it's like it's a plot point.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like it's this is just how it works. It's more of because psychic bullshit.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
I
I'll have to take a look.
I actually have another one for best of 2019, which is less of a cop-out than a Pathfinder is.
Real quick before I forget, what was the name of the first book, Elsa? I'm gonna write it down.
Oh, Sayonara Wild Hearts. I have not actually played that yet.
Sayonara Wild Hearts is such a great game.
It is so good. I saw this like when it just came out, and I knew I had to have it. Then it came out on PC, and I knew I was gonna buy a Switch. It's like, no. I'm gonna buy it on Switch. Fact is shit. This game is so good. I've finished it two times already since I had it, like a week.
Yeah, it takes about an hour to beat the game, but it's such a fun game, though.
Plus, once you beat it, you unlock album mode, basically, which is just everything in a row. So it's literally just like you're listening to an album, only with more visual and motoric stimuli, I guess. It's so good. It is
All
amazing.
right.
Yeah.
I will definitely. That was on my maybe list. I will probably go and buy it, and probably specifically for the Switch, just because then I can say that I own a game on our Switch.
All right, so back to the name of that book, Kelsa. Skyward. That's the first one?
Yeah, by Brandon Sanderson.
And here's another cool thing, is if you get it on the Switch, and you have some good headphones with you, and you're going anywhere, you just have an awesome album to listen to while playing a game in, like, the train or something.
You can't play the game without volume, and also, there are some parts of, like, the game that the game transitions with the music so perfectly that you just, like, have a full sensory, like, orgasm.
Actually, I will point out on that end, if you suffer from epilepsy or whatever it's called in English, something along those lines.
Yeah.
If you cannot handle strobing lights, that kind of stuff, don't. Stay away. It is an awesome game, but it's not for you. Because it is very visually intensive, to give it a proper description. And you can probably not handle it, and it's not worth risking your life. So stay the heck away. Otherwise, please go play. It's so good.
Word.
Yeah, with that, I think, having nerded out properly, we should probably go into getting murdered.
Yeah, I mean, we can kick back.
At least one of us needs to die tonight.
I mean,
I wonder who.
I mean, it's not necessary that one of us dies tonight, but
That's
it's
fair.
definitely on the table. I mean,
On
the
the
first
table.
line of the book is "Prepare to die." So
Prepare
we'll
to
go.
cry.
Did you all want to go over the stuff that I leveled, just so that everyone's up to date? Since I did hit level
Yeah, because
3.
You're the one that leveled and I didn't.
Sirah will definitely be level 1 as well, because you just get
I'm a
10 experience
baby.
straight up from playing.
You survived one
session.
round. You better know.
Am I though?
So I'll pull up the PDF or the cheat sheet. Hold on, I'll just go to the cheat sheet that I have right here. I don't even
I
need
already
to
leveled mine,
leave
so I can
roll
just-
20.
I already leveled mine, so I can just tell what I did.
Okay, what did you do?
I put 3 more points on my strength, because them guns need to be shining bright. Which gets that to a 56 now, meaning I have 112 health. Getting marginally better at surviving a shotgun blast every time that I level.
Well, that's a good way to be.
Yeah. To be fair, in this world, I think getting marginally better at taking a shotgun blast is still a good way to go at the end of the day. And I'm starting to get closer and closer onto Dr. Patton's territory by having an intelligence boost of 5. So I actually have an intellect of 47, which I think makes me the second smartest on the crew now.
You smart.
So, dumb little Milo is getting far.
Nice.
Plus 1 resolve again, because I didn't really have a use for the other ones. And I got close quarters combat. So, I've been in too many scraps by now. I'm like, I should probably start getting better at this point. Especially after the Psychos left the last time. I'd rather be at least decent at fighting people off, since my combat actually is terrible.
Did we do your leveling up last session, Dirtfuffle? Do you remember?
No, I got my XP. I don't think I did anything with it.
You didn't do anything with it? Okay. Well, I will go over what you do with that. There are 3 steps to leveling up. The first one is pick a major improvement. You get to improve 1 stat by 5 and another by 3 to a maximum of 85. Or you get to improve 2 saves by 4 each. So if you go into your character sheet,
Mm-hmm.
the saves are on. Well, the stats and saves are like right in the middle of your screen. Saves are good at not having to make panic checks, and your stats are what you roll to do things. I would personally recommend maybe going with the stat and going strength and combat, or strength and speed if you want to like really put a bunch into speed. But
So
Probably
if you
strength
keep strength
and
up, we can
combat.
keep on being strength crew.
Yes.
just
Yeah, I'm gonna do
strong
strength
best
and
friends.
combat. Muscle bros. All right. So how many do I get?
You get 5 in one and 3 in another.
Okay.
Strength crew! Ah.
I have my Fitbit. Does that count?
I mean, if you also want to crush shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next step.
Did you take the resolve yet? Because at your point, I think resolve is probably the easiest and best one to grab.
Yeah, I was gonna say gain your because like after you did your major improvement, your next is either gain 1 resolve, remove 1 phobia or addiction, or heal all stress. You probably like
I'll take a resolve.
Seb said, take the
Yeah,
resolve.
you don't have that much yet in the rest, so.
And then your last thing is you gain 2 skill points. Just keep in mind that master skills cost 3 points to learn, expert skills cost 2 points to learn, and training skills cost 1. You can bank these for further level ups.
I forgot, did I get first aid this level or last level?
Did you get what? What?
First aid.
I think it was the last one.
I was going to say I thought it was this one. First, I wanted to tell you more importantly though that I thought you said thirsty.
Did I get thirsty last time?
Boy. Well, maybe talk to Patton. Maybe after we get rid of the aliens, okay?
After.
Some people
I
like it
think-
with tentacles, some people like it without.
So
Think
what
I'm
were you gonna say? Oh.
Take close quarters combat so I don't get my ass kicked again.
Ah, that's a cool idea. Do it. Do you have
man.
the prereq for it?
Sirah and Millo are gonna just high five all the way around. It's like, yeah, we're bros. This is awesome.
What do you need for close quarters combat?
do I
Military
need- I
training,
forgot.
rim-wise. You either need military training, rim-wise, or athletics to have it.
I lied. I'm going to take military training and rimrise this time. So I can
You
get
sh-
it next time.
So I'm going to say that you're likely, if you're using it to go into the next one, you only
Mhm.
need to take one of them. But if you plan on like making military training rolls or rim-wise rolls, either of them are used for like shooting guns. So you may
Right.
not want to do both. You may just want to like get military training or get athletics and military training, but not both rim-wise and military training. I think
Alright.
rim-wise is probably the more useful of the two. If you
Also,
had to
if it
pick.
matters in your decision making, I already have both. So, so take it because you want it, not because you're like, oh, I'm filling a
Yeah.
hole in the party.
That's fair.
I'm going to take rimwise and athletics then.
Cool.
Because athletics I don't have, so good on you. Oh.
And did anybody else need to level up, or did we do that already?
Nope, because
I think I covered
was
it last week.
3
Okay.
XP short
Mhm.
Cool.
because other people saved me and I saved nobody. I
Well,
tried
I guess
real
that gives you something to
hard.
do. I guess that gives you something to do this session.
Are you
Just
gonna be the one
something
that
to
needs
focus on.
saving?
That depends entirely on our GM. Though I have heard that someone amongst us has a death wish, which coincidentally is not the guy that keeps on saying that we're all gonna die.
Huh. Funny how that works.
So I guess we can get right into it then. So where we left off last episode, there was a bit of an interrogation of a teamster that was hopped up on space cookies, right? That's what they're called? Space cookies?
Premium cookies.
Oh, premium
That's what we
cookies.
call them, yes. PC.
PC.
And it was found out that they were trying to, in a way, host a mutiny and just take the camp that you were sent to get back online. They were planning on just taking it for themselves and creating their own sustainable colony without the assistance of the Scale. They were apparently, so they said, eventually going to open up trading with the Scale, but they had to close everything down and make themselves self-sustaining first, or they wouldn't be taken seriously. Ultimately, it turns out that everybody either died in a mining accident or overdosed on drugs, but there was only 3 people left, one of which was another guy who was fighting with this person. I had a name for him. I wrote it down, but I don't have it in front of me.
I only have Terrence.
Corpse number
guy.
1 and terrorist and mutiny guy.
That is the name that I have written down.
I think Terrence was the one that got shot, right?
No, Terrence is the one
That
that
was-
got ripped apart. His
Oh,
legs, I am bashing against the wall now in frustration.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and I'm covered in his blood.
Yes.
We're all covered in
So
blood.
am I. I mean, we're both very close by.
Yes.
Yeah,
Something
so
about explosion.
after
Always
almost as the explosion of gore occurs, you hear like a chime as if like something has finished. If we were watching this on a TV show or whatever,
Jabari's
you
still
would
up there?
see. I don't know. Wasn't Jabari down with you guys, or?
I thought
I
tagged
had-
out.
We were
Oh,
all
no.
we were all downstairs, and I was slightly
Oh,
away
right,
from you
right,
guys
right.
for some time because I was burning
Right.
the other guy's corpse who Jabari killed.
Right.
Of which I was pissed about, and then I was like, "Yay, I saved one," and then well, I didn't save one.
Yeah, it was. You put a lot of effort into making sure that you could keep this person alive, and then it just so happens that they got ripped in half right in front of your eyes.
Not even the first one. It has been a day.
I think we want to get out of here right now.
Swearing in the background. Right now, he is angry. He'll just go along with whatever plan, but he is.
Yeah, that. Now that I'm thinking back, that was the last thing we saw. The guy get ripped through the grate, and everyone was showered in gore. And basically, Jabari passed his save so that everyone didn't lose their shit.
Yes. There were a lot of panic rolls at the end there. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it was like a cascading panic. It was pretty great.
that well-timed oh shit moment.
All right, so with that, what are you guys doing other than like now that the moment of panic where like the moment where everything just stops and you guys made those rolls, now that the world has returned to normal, what are you guys up to?
Can I
Other
come
than
with you guys?
beating legs against
Yeah.
the wall in frustration.
I'm probably picking pieces of brain out of my hair.
Jabari's also probably just kind of like quick squeegeed the blood and gore from his face.
Now I see why
Ed-
you're wearing the goggles and the helmets.
Yeah.
Gets the
He's
gore
just
off easily.
It is
It's the
one
way.
way to prove a point.
I think Dr. Patton like takes off her glasses so that she can clean the blood off of them, and you can see the perfectly octagonal-shaped spots where everything else is covered in blood. She puts them back on, and she's like, "Well, I heard the chime, so I'm going to let them know we have everything under control, and we can get back to the Scale."
So did your Your voice went a little high there when you said under control. Was that intentional and in character being like
Yes.
a little nervous or awesome? I love it.
Yes.
Cool.
Also,
So you go.
Kelsa, if you can up your volume a little bit. If you.
Yes.
Patton has a soft voice, so she kind of falls
Yes.
away whenever you speak as Patton.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Here we go. Thank you.
I think Millo just walks up to Jabari, just still covered with gore, throws away the last leg. You still have that goddamn flask.
Yes, I do. he quickly fishes it out and politely passes it to Milo first, but in that save some.
Yeah.
Save some, I need it too.
Yeah.
Just sip,
How about you, Sirah? Is it Sirah or Shira?
Shira.
Okay.
course it is.
What are you up to?
I'm hoping to catch a ride, and I'm cleaning like as much of the gunk I can, because I don't want to dirty this ship they're going to politely let me on so I can get out of here.
Cool.
Do you guys need me to grab anything for you?
I mean, this is a camp, right? Don't they have showers along the lines?
Down below. Let's maybe not go down there.
Right, the direction the alien went in. Right, let's not do that. We'll clean up on our back. I think he just not storming off like he did before. He definitely has tempered himself a little bit. Let's stay close to each other, but he does start leading. Okay, we've done what we're meant to do. Comms are up. Shit is fixed. I think it's time to get out of here.
All right, so you guys all head up towards the overseer tower, I guess. Well, not really a tower, but the overseer's quarter in the camp.
Yeah, I was heading over there first in order to send that message out on the computer there.
Okay, so you get there and the comm uplink is enabled. Do you start a transmission, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I figured there's some kind of report home button.
Yeah, and there is. You can press that and it'll call out to them. It doesn't ring like a telephone, but it connects.
Sure.
And that takes a little bit of time.
I'll stand there and wait, and probably the rest of the crew can catch up before they answer whatever's convenient for the story.
Yeah, either or. It doesn't unless you want to get some private words in with whoever answers, it doesn't matter.
Nah.
Okay. Cool. So you reach out. You get in contact with the home base of the Bowels, the base mining camp. I guess we'll pull over to that map that Zev so elegantly created for us. It's great.
So beautiful.
So nice. I love it.
Shut up! I can't say compliments.
Such a good map.
Sash!
Too bad.
I will dodge your compliments, it's fine.
Right. So, if this will work, I guess I'll just copy. And there we go. I think I made too many. So you get in touch with this. You aren't back at home base, speaking to HQ or anything,
Mhm.
but a worker dressed in the same jumper that you are answers and is like, "This is base camp."
Yes, this
is fucked up, Phil.
Who's Phil? This is Richard. Over.
Dispenser.
As if they're talking on radio. No.
What's the name of this camp? Is there a
It's
designation or
I
something?
just called it Camp Gamma, but that was
Sure.
just my creative insight. into
honestly,
the
it that works for me because it was just it's a nitrogen. It's
Sure.
a base camp for a nitrogen mining operation.
Not anymore.
Camp Gamma is a perfectly fine name.
I'm checking in from Camp Gamma. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that the comms were back online. Unfortunately, there's. We'll report the rest when we get back, but.
Wait, you got Gamma back online? Really? This is like the second crew we sent out there to do that. Holy smokes! All right. Well,
Dr. Patton, can I have a moment? I'll be serious this time.
I hold up the mic or whatever.
Yeah, your flux capacitor was fucked and your entire server room was out. I had managed to tear out some parts and make sure it's a makeshift repair right now, but I need some. Well, you all need some stuff to be brought back down here if you want to fix everything up back to normal ratio. And it just starts listing off a bunch of elements that are needed to get the server room back in proper order instead of the jury rig bullshit it is now.
Yeah,
Make
actually,
a list, son.
Can you make a roll to make sure that you don't sound like a fool by accident?
Sure. I can
Let's
definitely
see.
try.
What role would I want you to make here?
This sounds probably like engineering.
I was gonna say it sounds like engineering.
Engineering makes most sense. Oh, you. So you say a lot of things that you probably are just like a little bit flustered. I would take it because you're only off by 15 points. So you say a few wrong things, and they're just like, "Oh, okay, you know what you're talking about. I got you. Okay, pal."
I think what might have happened here is that I just, due to the nerves, I just go through them way fast, and he starts writing down the wrong things because he can't properly hear what I'm saying.
Well, I think the failure consequence was more that you look foolish, not so much that he writes down the wrong stuff. So.
Oh, sure. I mean, I still look foolish if they come with the wrong stuff here. At the end of the day.
That's fair. Well, I can't designate anything myself, but it's awesome. I can relay this information back to the liaison to HQ, and we can figure out where to go from there. What about there were quite a few. There were like 15 people stationed out there. How are they doing? They all right?
No.
Deprived of oxygen, suffocated.
Oh, that sucks. Well,
tell me about it. I would have loved to save at least one of them. Well, I guess we did save one of them. I would love to save more than one of them. We got one of them.
Oh, who? I know a couple people out there. That's really sad. But who?
Back. You'll see him when we're back. We don't want to stay. Is everything okay now? Can we go?
Hi, Dick. It's Sirah.
Sirah, I told you.
Sirah. Oh, damn! I haven't seen you in weeks. All right, hurry up and get back here.
I'll tell you all about it over drinks, man.
Okay.
You are not going to believe this.
You better invite me for those drinks. All right, Patton.
Yeah.
All right, well, you guys know how it works. The clock's a ticking, so I got to get going and back to work. But I will make sure that the information is relayed back to HQ, and we will make sure that we do whatever we got to do from here. All right, see y'all soon. Hope you make it back safe.
Well, so do I.
And they close the call before you respond.
No, you hang up.
They seemed more.
No, you hang up.
No, let's leave.
They seemed more in a rush because, obviously, I don't know.
Corporate overlords are looking
Yeah,
over.
corporate overlords. Oh no, that phone call took longer than 2 minutes. But yes, pretty much that.
I can feel my creds draining already.
So
Let's go. I'd like to get back to base before the next sleep cycle.
I'd rather get back to base before whatever creature it just ate has its next sleep cycle.
Do we know that they're actually eating them?
Jabari.
I mean, not necessarily.
He just asks that as he's takes a slow drink from his flask.
You honestly don't even know if these things are alive or dead or life.
What do they actually want?
They appear on my scanner though, right? My life.
Yes, they do
My scanner,
appear as a heat signature.
Well, I didn't see anybody get eaten, just taken.
Yeah.
and ripped in half.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say taken is a strong word too.
I was trying to be nice to my psyche, okay?
So I will say, if any of you guys want the opportunity to clean yourself up, there is like decontamination quarters and shower stations in the bathroom at this.
No.
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 I'm gonna.
I've been here for 9 days doing this. Let's leave.
The only
Yeah, I
thing
think
I'm
we're all,
grabbing before
like-
I'm having out is my beer.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, I think we're all under the do not want to be here where
Yeah.
those things ripping people in half are. And especially like I'll take being fucking filthy and covered in gore over the potential of becoming that gore.
Or the
Fair.
potential of
I mean,
the classic horror movie trope of being alone in a shower with monsters.
Yeah.
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 was it that obvious? I was trying to set that up. My bad.
Yes.
It's like
I'm
So I take it you guys are leaving the. I'm going to. You said it's Camp Gamma, is what you're doing, right?
Gamma.
Hey, Sirah, you have any oxygen tanks for yourself? Because we're running pretty low for a way back. And the only
do I
place
have?
around that gives oxygen might have been ransacked already.
I'm sure I know of somewhere on base, hopefully close by, that actually have oxygen tanks.
You
Do I have to
may.
roll for it?
So go ahead and make a scavenge roll at advantage. So roll it twice, and if one succeeds, then you pass. Pretty much. If one's a crit and one succeeds, you get the crit. Because you live here pretty much for the past 2 weeks, so.
At the very least. Possibly longer.
Unless, is there anything like an expert tier of scavenge that you may have?
I'm trained in scavenging.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that could like work out for you though. Nah, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, well just roll a. I'll say. So it's either strength because it's behind some knocked over stuff, or it's intelligence because you need to like finagle a particular machine. So you get to pick either strength or intelligence, and you're going to do that with a plus 10% roll.
Okay.
Hey, you did it! Nice.
Yay.
So you have your own skill.
Roll it a
issued-
second twice because it's an advantage. If you get a crit, then it's better.
Fair, you can still
Yeah,
get
it
a
would be
crit.
better. Do it again. Nope.
That
Nope.
is not
It's
a
fine.
crit.
Nope.
But you have your skill issued breathing apparatus that everybody has. We were calling them rebreathers earlier, but it's like a breathing apparatus that connects to the the oxygen cylinders, the condensed oxygen cylinders, and disperses it. So you find 8 of the cylinders. They're like this big, kind of like I described them as like paintball CO2 tanks, but they're condensed oxygen cylinders. But yeah, so you find about 8 of those that you can plug in. What I would say otherwise is the other party members have about 4 oxygen cylinders remaining.
I actually have notes about this, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Oh, if you, yeah, I haven't.
We were keeping track of ours. I have 2.
You have
Oh,
2
2 left.
Okay. So it would make sense for everybody to have 202 left.
Yeah, because
Well, I
we
think-
managed. We all still had 2 oxygen canisters left. And I think Jabari then bought another canister and found 4 more oxygen canisters because we went through most of them on the way there. So we all had like 2 left, and then we got a bunch more. And
Yeah.
we went through this part.
We
so
had
got
found and
one
used
left.
a bunch.
So I believe
So we'll
we
ju-
at least have like 3 a person now, something along the lines.
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and say that there's 3 a person, and Sirah has 8 that she can distribute as she pleases.
Which I
Oh, yeah.
will.
Okay.
As if you might not have.
Please take me with you. I have oxygen.
No, we want to get you back. We want to get you back.
Yes.
Plus,
Awesome.
if you didn't and we were almost there to die, then no matter how many muscles you have, I have them too, and I have 2 other people. It's like, we need oxygen. Don't take it from us. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I think we're starting.
I am
to make
nerd
our way
fuffle
back.
again.
There you go. You guys got
Fixed
fixed.
things.
Cool. So you guys can start heading back through the the mine passageways. I'm going to take it like unless stated otherwise, you're pretty much running the bioscanner consistently, Dr. Patton.
No, we want to be surprised again.
Please. I do not know when the
Being
aliens
surprised
are
is such a good idea. Awesome. So I'll say without incident, you're able to, and those weird flickering lights that you saw earlier, they are no longer doing that. I mean, you haven't. That whole incident that you guys just went through took no longer than like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So you guys are like still in a day's work, even though this has been like 4 episodes.
It's been one heck of a day.
Cool. So you make it.
I think, just on the way back, especially since Patton is now semi-claimed his bioscanner, he's just constantly wearing the night vision goggles, the infrared goggles, just to see if like anything warm starts moving up.
Like, if he asked for it back, she would have given it to him, but basically she just feels like she's on scanning duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's also like, to be fair, it's not like it's helping if I take this thing away from you right now. This is a thing that you can do. Like,
Keep your hands
you're
open.
you're the smart person. I'm the fighty person. It's better for you to have the scanner device so that I can be ready to fight in case something comes up. So yeah. Plus, whenever I have the goggles on, Sirah looks like Demon Lady again, and that's actually super dope. So hey.
You're just like, I like you when you're in night vision mode.
It's like, puts night vision goggles on, it's like, yeah, that's right. Lock and low, bitches.
Not creepy at all.
I mean, it's just in a you look cool kind of way. If you want to bring it somewhere else, leave that for when we're back in the bar.
I mean, I approve. What?
All right, we're running. We're moving. We're getting out of here. Okay, Nyunk.
Oh wow, the bioscanner in this game is a lot better than I thought it was. It's 100 meters in all directions without being blocked by most known metals. So like probably lead is the only thing that blocks it. And 100 meters is far. I've definitely been shorting you guys on your bioscanner. My bad.
To be fair, I like the idea that it's still just like in with Alien, that it's very directional. Like it can go out 100 meters, but you need to be looking the right way. So things can
Fair,
still
that's a
sneak up
good
on
point.
you. It's not just a pulse, like, you know everything around you now.
Yeah, I guess for the sake of the suspense of the mission, it's been the situations where the bioscanner has registered things like late or like as things are happening, it wasn't actively being used. So that's good. So cool. You make it to the oxygen distributing station where those 2 people had kind of like barricaded themselves in.
The other
You make it
moment
there
where
with no
we met a tentacle
incidents.
that ripped someone apart.
Yeah, precisely.
Memories.
As we move past, none of us react as there's this giant blood spurt somewhere, and Sirah just like
Just getting my job done, man. No.
We're just here now. We're going through the motions. It's fine.
This is a day in the life on the Scout. Okay.
Like, just ignore it, man. It's gonna be okay. Just ignore.
So I guess like before we just kind of like fast track directly back to the Scout, because I'm gonna roll to see if anything happens. I want to see like, is there any like character development? Do you want to tell us a little bit about Sirah at all? Does anybody want to like have a conversation or be like, so what the hell just happened there, huh?
I feel like we should talk about what just happened. A man just got ripped through a grate, and I know we all took a moment to drink on it, but is everybody okay?
You make it sound like it's almost a celebration when you say that we drunk on it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a drink. Would you mind?
Cultural differences, I presume.
Honestly, if I have to say what is fucking me up most, it's not the alien. I've seen something along those lines of that. The fucking lights that were weird. Wait, Sirah, did you guys send out an SOS?
Somebody tried to go up there like day 3, but I don't know if they made it.
Flashback to there being like a body like of a person who died of malnourishment, I guess.
Look, if we have
Oxygen
to
deprivation.
if we have to bring something up, Miss Patton, I hope I wasn't the only one seeing Faust's head.
Dr. Patton is conspicuously quiet and looking in another direction.
I'll take that as a yes. So there's no way
Do
he's
either-
here. There's no way
Does
anyone else
either-
can know about it. Continue, sir.
Does either Jabari or Sirah like ask like who the hell is Faust or anything? Like
Yeah, Sirah, you want it?
Sirah needs a nap and a shower. 9 days, you guys.
Before that nap and shower, you still got a couple of hours of walking to go.
I know. It's like, oh, good conversation, you guys. She doesn't care what it's about. Should we get
Faust,
going?
who is this Faust?
Just a stupid bullface who stole my ship and is basically the reason why I'm stuck here.
It obviously couldn't have been him. There's just no way.
Why is that?
Tasha, did you see him or did you not?
There's
Yes
no
or no,
Faust.
I
Tasha?
saw.
we can talk about this out of character if you want to
And, like-
talk about it before you make the decision to
No,
say-
she rounds on him and is like, "It's Dr. Patton."
You know what I'm talking about. Fuck off with your doctorate. If you're dead, it doesn't matter.
All right, I saw something and it looked similar to his face. You saw the same thing. You're telling me you actually saw that.
Something's getting in our head because no one else knows about that thing. Who's to say the fucking tentacles are real now?
They showed up on the scanner. That means something, doesn't it?
If we can see faces, then no one else should know. That are ripped out of our head. Who is to say that whatever else we're seeing isn't fake? And I think that's where like a Twitch eye glance goes to Sirah.
Well, if you do recall,
Is Sirah not real?
no, I mean,
Sirah rips off her skin and it's actually Faust.
Sirah is panicking right now because she doesn't know if she's real or not.
Well,
Oh no, the existential dread.
if you're worried whether she's like an illusion or something, the guy on the comms did say, "Oh, Sirah," like they knew her.
I knew Dick.
His name's Richard. Okay.
His name's Dick to all his friends.
Yeah, Richard is Dick. Let's be
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
he is
entirely
still
fair.
a first interaction NPC for the rest of the party. Okay.
Yeah. No, and if Millo takes a moment to think about it, he'll probably figure out himself that is definitely not what's going on here. It is just he's having a bit of a paranoia moment now that the adrenaline is fleeting, and we're still stuck in a shitty situation. We have a long time before we're getting out, and like the bad things keep floating around in his head.
Hmm.
And he wants answers, but he knows that he can't get them. But it's like. Plus, he's used to taking off the edge by now, and he can't. Right. Well.
Haven't seen anything.
The problem is
Since
that we both
we-
saw him. Like, Faust isn't part of your, like, biggest fears or something. If someone had to have that, I guess
No.
that would be me.
But
So it can't just be like a pheromone that makes us hallucinate things about that we are frightened of. If we both saw it, that makes it all the more real, even if it's fake.
I mean,
I've had it.
lights in general play tricks with your mind, and it could use familiarity more so than anything. And it's like, before the scale, you guys both recently were interacting with Faust. But
Mhm.
I'm not a
So this-
psychiatrist, and I'm not an optometrist. We saw something, and it was reminiscent of our recent acquaintance. I'm not. I see no reason to believe that it was actually his face.
Here's the problem. With my previous part-time job, I've gotten accustomed to figments of the imagination. That definitely didn't seem like one.
I'm
That
not
was a little bit too
suggesting.
real.
I'm not suggesting we are hallucinating. I'm suggesting that our brains are putting a pattern to something that was otherwise unrecognizable.
So you're meaning to say that whatever the thing was so unrecognizable that we just put something on it?
Or it was. She kind of trails
God,
off and
Jesus.
shrugs.
Can't I just go back to the days where I just didn't like robots? Fucking hell. And he just starts walking.
Didn't you find Matt pleasant?
I found them highly uncanny. To give the nicest words I can find.
In this growth.
To be fair, I think that's the first rod I haven't punched in the face in a long while.
You're improving.
No, I think I'm deteriorating, but that's from different reasons. Looks at Sirah again. It's like... bad thoughts, just keep going.
Just
So
wanna nap.
I've been trying to say that this is all while you guys are walking, so it's not like you
Yeah,
guys
yeah, yeah.
stop to have this conversation. So I've been doing like side rolls here and there, but
Yeah.
so
no,
far,
Millo, like,
so good. The scanner it's picking up life forms, but nothing large or moving quickly or seeming threatening. Nothing that's like identical or comparable to the tentacles that you have noticed before. And at this point, you guys are a little bit more than halfway back to base camp.
Halfway there and living on a prayer. I too.
Yeah. I think some way through, Milo's just throwing out these very casual questions to Sirah to try and confirm if she's real or not. But trying to keep it very on the down low.
So what are some of the? I'd love to hear some of these
you gotta
questions.
give me questions.
Please, what are these casual reality confirming questions?
Because Shira's going to answer them in hopes that that confirms that she's a real person. She doesn't have to think about it anymore.
So parts of it are about trying to confirm what just happened with her. But I think he'd also just start throwing in those weird questions. So, like, right, so, just walking anyway. Tell me something about your life. What is the weirdest thing you ever did as a child? And just starts trying to see if in every answer there's a pattern or not.
Oh, man.
Think of
See, and it's
something
weird
I'm
because
trying to think
sci-fi,
of something. Yeah.
sci-fi weird's not the same as weird now. Like saying, I ate a worm when I was a kid, blah, blah, blah. That wouldn't be as weird in a sci-fi setting, I think.
Or it might be weirder if you grew up on a space station. Like, where'd you even get a worm?
I know.
Maybe. I mean,
That's
you
what
guys
I'm
have been
saying.
dealing with giant worms or something similar for a bit now.
Sure, but we're not on a space station.
Yeah, that's
It all depends on where you grew up. That's what I'm saying. Just come up with a fun story from your own childhood and then put it in space.
I mean, it could be oxygen not
Hey, the
included, where you
space
just
worm
have
one
the
day.
mealworms.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, those are not technically worms. But anyway,
Yeah. Space worms.
space worms.
Space worms.
Now I'm expecting an answer with space worms.
I know. Now I have to come up.
Just space worms.
To be fair, the answer itself isn't that important because it's just
I know.
he's looking for
but
very
now-
specific patterns. Like if maybe like your memories are very similar, weirdly, to mine, or if you're constantly answering similarly,
Right?
that kind of stuff. Which you won't
She's
do
like, one
anyway,
time,
because we know
I
you're
made
real.
my brother eat a space worm. I have a childhood, therefore I'm real.
Yes. And then he's like,
I perceive
met
the
my
past,
brother."
therefore I exist.
But yeah, he's also very obviously very nervous.
Jabari, your like radio communication returns to like use. Like you're within range of your security outpost.
I will start flicking through the channels and see if I pick up any chatter.
Nothing unusual. Like there is chatter, like just the typical stuff, like shift 4, Delta base finishing up, shift 5 is about to go in. Expect expect a drop down in production for 5 to 10 minutes during this, whatever. You hear a couple things like that. You hear that there was like at the pit, which is the name of one of the bars, there was like a lockdown because one of the patrons got extremely violent with the barkeeper. As you do, like
As
you
you
hear
do.
things like that.
Lovely
He'll look.
Monday.
Yep, we're back in comms range. That is a good sign. Hopefully, nothing else bad will happen on our way in.
I love that nervous chuckle of yours. And I think at this point, Sirah and Milo have gone past the like paranoia questioning if she's real, and has just gone nerd talk about engineering.
Yes.
Since it's kind of both of our jobs, and it's like this is the quintessential. No one knows what we're talking about anymore.
I have a childhood. I know stuff.
And we're like
It's fine.
more than halfway back to the headquarters, and I'm still like constantly scanning around. I'm like
Awesome.
half listening to the two of yours conversation, mostly just to make sure that I'm not like getting out of range of everybody, because like every once in a while, like stop and do a full circle scan or something.
Cool.
Sirah will watch that nervously as hell. Keep an eye on it mid-conversation.
Nice. And so at this point, you're a little bit more than 3/4 of the way back. It's well lit, it's well traveled, but there's no other people in the general area. You're like in the middle of this side of the bow shifts, I guess, if that makes sense. So there isn't like night and day. There's shifts in space because they don't necessarily revolve around the sun in a 24-hour period. So people operate based off a shift instead of light cycles. So it's a pretty well lit, well traveled corridor, but you start to see those light flickers the same you saw them before. No, it's not spelling out SOS, but it's creating a very unusual pattern that doesn't even seem to be a pattern unless you spend like an extensive amount of time watching it, I guess. It seems random, I guess, is probably the easiest way I could have said that.
Millo just stands still for a second the moment he notices, like, oh.
I definitely was paying attention to the scanner and bump into him from behind.
Milo, tell me the next time you blink.
Everyone else sees this, right?
Now.
You blink right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how when you see like bright lights, you get like a burned in like image when you blink? Like you know how like, you'll see light in your eyelids?
You're
you see like
a jump scare?
You're not really getting a jump scare, but you see something very similar to Faust's face when you blink. And it's not like it doesn't look real. It doesn't look like Faust is in your head, but you see like you're getting the image of Faust based off of the weird light burn.
Yeah, and I think that's right in the moment that Patton bumps into me, so there's like this very, like, in a split second, he just is against the wall. It's like, fuck!
I'm sorry. I should have been paying better attention. I apologize. You all right?
And he's keeping his eyes wide open, like, he's not blinking.
Yeah, Dr. Patton, let me know the next time you blink as well. I guess everybody, let me know when you blink for the first time after the lights start flickering.
I mean, probably shortly after that. Like, probably shortly after bumping into Millo.
So you see something very reminiscent of Faust's face, but you also are under the impression that Faust is like a particular design of robot, not so much like a unique individual. So like you see, because you're only getting like a black and white like impression of what he would look like in light form in your eyelids, you don't necessarily like, I could see this being Faust, but you don't necessarily immediately make that judgment.
You know what's even worse? I was wearing the infrared goggles, so I wasn't seeing real life shit. I was seeing
yeah, so you probably got more definition.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, he's like, none of you all can see because of the infrared goggles, but he's like forcefully trying to keep his eyes open, and he's not having a good time.
Yeah, after I bump into you, and you cuss, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and then I blink and I see it, and I'm like, I think I'm still standing like right next to you, and like maybe my hand is on your shoulder, and I just suddenly shudder.
Yeah, I think I'm tearing off the infrared goggles, just like, just keeping eyes open. It's like,
I saw something, but my eyes were shut, and what about the two of you?
how
Jabari,
far away are we?
Sirah?
How far away are we from this gun?
I would know, right?
Yeah, you guys
Sure,
are.
there's
you guys
mile
are
markers.
less than an hour away.
We are
And-
not.
Go for a jog, and he just starts
And when
jogging.
you guys blink, you get the same visual, but you have no association to who this Faust is. It's just you think it's super weird that when you blink, you get like the impression of a face, as if it were translated directly into light in your eyelids. You know.
Yeah, Millo just starts jogging. It's like, it's within jogging distance. Let's go. Up.
Yep.
Up.
Yep.
Movement.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
If
Not
they
even
start
hesitating.
jogging, Jabari can definitely keep a forced march pace going for days, but he hangs in the back, knowing that the civs probably can't. So he'll.
Yeah.
Is
It's
is
just
this
the
where
dog.
is this where Jabari finally learns that I've also had military training?
Well,
So
no,
just as-
it is very much hanging back so the doctor doesn't fall behind.
Oh, I know. Yeah. No, I know.
yeah,
But
the
it's like,
doctor is
this
the
is
one that's not ready for this.
Yeah. But this is where you notice that the way that I like jog is just like a forced march. It's like the way you learn it at a military is just like minimal, like wasted effort. Just keep going.
Yep. There's a little text over Jabari's head. Jabari will remember this.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys pick up the pace at least enough so that you're moving quickly back to base.
Maybe we
Cool.
get there in 45 minutes instead of an hour.
Yeah, it'll be
I
like
mean,
40 to 45 minutes.
I'd run if it weren't for you.
Thanks.
Awesome. So let me see.
Yeah, I don't think that Dr. Patton fully appreciates that. Not that she doesn't appreciate it, but that she doesn't.
No, she does. I get it. She doesn't know that he would be running. Otherwise.
She's probably just
Yeah.
I'm catching
She's
up.
just like, God damn it, we're
Yeah.
already running? It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm keeping it simple for you. Just keep up, please. We want to get out of here.
Like, yeah.
You have the
Which-
scanner. We have to stick with you anyway.
Which, honestly, you're a civvy, so you'll probably start complaining in about 15 minutes.
I mean, I'm not wearing heels, so I've got that going for me.
Fair. But at some point, the adrenaline wears off, and then you start getting tired.
That's true.
And if
So
you're
you
not
guys,
trained in
Mm-mm.
I know.
so
I
you, like-
for hell no can't run for longer than 10 minutes.
You've round
I
like
do
a-
actually have athletics trained.
Oh,
Yeah.
So maybe I jogged on the weekends or something. Like, I'm not
good going.
great.
You just stay healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I am not trained in a forced march, but I can jog a mile without it being a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
5 or whatever it is.
So you guys round a corner. It's like a pretty obtuse like I guess like 70-degree bend. And there's a person just sitting there with their rebreather off on their on the ground. Eyes are closed.
No
Are
guns
they
out.
picking up? Are they appearing on my scanner?
Yes, they are a warm body.
Okay.
My nail gun is
Well,
already
like,
trained at them.
We would have seen that from before we rounded the corner. I would have
Yeah, you would have seen that there, but it wouldn't have been like anomalous to you.
Sure.
Like you've seen same size life forms. There's life forms on this rock that aren't the tentacles. if
Sure.
that,
Yeah.
makes
Mhm.
sense.
I will go up and I will hand Jabari the scanner
I'll
and
take
be
it.
like, I'm gonna check on this guy and just go first aid. Is this guy still alive? Is
Yeah,
he-
give me a first aid roll.
Okay, dokey. Intelligence, yeah.
Yep, intelligence.
There we go.
Hey, you did it. He is still alive, but his pulse is faint.
Okay. Does he have any spare cartridges for his rebreather?
No, that seems to be the
Really?
circumstance. His like breathing apparatus is empty.
But we're not that far from the base camp.
No, not too far.
But we're
I can
probably all
spare
running
one.
low on oxygen by now, so you don't really have any.
Yeah, I haven't
Right.
really been like poking it, but I've rolled 3 times, so I figured like each time I've rolled for an encounter,
Mhm.
I figure would be a time that you guys go through a cartridge. So you're
Wait.
into Shira's stash at this point.
Would there be enough to spare one and make it safely enough?
So 3 is 9 plus 8, I said, right? So that would be 17 minus 3. I'm doing really weird math.
Oh. So yes, there should
12.
still be enough left.
Yeah.
Which means that there's 5 left, which is 1 for each of us and the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So perfect.
Exactly enough. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice how that worked out.
Let's make sure he gets one so that he can keep breathing.
Mhm.
With your success, you're going to know that he's not going to know to start taking like meaningful breaths again without like some type of resuscitation. Maybe not full CPR, but like, you know how they use those little tube things, like breathers for people? Like, you kind of need to do something like that to get him back into a breathing habit.
Wouldn't those be built into a respirator?
No, it's not forced respiration. Because you determine how much oxygen you use. It's part of It's part of the whole skills.
Wouldn't that just be like for emergencies, be a little like balloon that you can attach to it and just like?
Maybe in the medical, the medical wards or in the base camps, they have things like that, but it's not like stock. It's not standard issue.
If I if I hit him with a stim pack, you think that would do it?
Yeah, that would
flood his system with some.
That would like make him take in a deep gasp of air, and then he'd probably want to run a marathon.
Perfect.
Go boxing or something.
That seems also a little bit overkill, but
that's true. I don't need to do that.
Maybe if you start thinking about it and I see you start driving, it's like,
oh, you think that's a little overkill?
You're right.
Are we sure this guy's okay? Like, not medically. You know what I'm talking about.
How many people have you met here since we've arrived on Skell?
Why do you think I'm suspicious?
I'm not leaving him here. I'll do some other kind of non-resource spending.
Okay, you can do chest compressions and get him going. It will be another. Just give me another first aid, but at advantage, because it's not like you have to do full CPR. You just need to get.
That will help you. So then you will roll at twice advantage.
I don't think advantage stacks in it. It does.
It doesn't.
Yes.
Does it?
Nice.
Success.
I got success. I did not crit, but I got a success.
Nice. Okay, so this guy takes in like a deep breath and he does the as seen on movie coughing thing, kind of spits out the rebreather, but then like realizes, oh shit, that's my air, and puts it back in his mouth. And it's like, thank you. I could have swore I was dead.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're saying. We need to get going now. Run.
And he just kicks him in the ass and just like go.
He doesn't run, but he stands up. Yeah, he gets up and he'll.
It is more just to get him going. We start at lower pace. We're not full back at forced march, but once he starts getting enough breath, it's like, okay, we're moving.
All right, yeah, and he'll go with you guys. Like, if you don't ask any questions, it's like he'll probably just be like, "What? This is a strange."
Enough of the questions when we're back.
Okay, fair.
If he really starts asking questioning why we're running, I'm just saying that we're all running out of air and we really need to get back.
Okay. Cool. So, if nothing else wants to be done while in the corridors, you make it back to the base camp. Which I think we have a different map we can look at. Yeah. No. Yeah, you're back. You're back in an established environment. Woohoo!
We have survived. Woo!
So far.
So, do you have a key? All right. So you are at the primary shaft. This is one of the there's a hole that continues down through the middle of this because there's like the elevator system that brings up and down. This is one floor of the bow mining operation. So when you first enter, to your right is going to be like the supplies cache, and then the base camp check-in point is on your left. Jabari, you would probably be like, you'll tell them that they have to check in, and they aren't getting paid pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Well, we check in then, obviously.
I know how this
Dr.
works.
Patton, may I have my bioscanner back before they dock me my creds?
Of course.
Thank you. Good work with it, though.
Thank you.
I just walks
we
up
check
like,
in.
Hey, Roach, how are you doing?
And on the check-in, it's kind of like a form in its own respects. It's like, did you bring anything back with you that was previously not provided when you left on your shift? Like, it asks a bunch of questions like that.
I brought a human.
I live here.
We brought. The other guy too. You know.
Yeah.
Does the gunk we are covered in from the noodle monsters count?
No.
Fair.
I did not successfly get any
Foreign
slides.
substances.
No,
Of
you have a
said
shitload of
substances.
samples. They're all on us.
Nah,
They're
because
contaminated.
because failures have to have consequences. Like,
Plus,
she has not
those are
successfully
human
gotten
gunk, not
a
alien
sample.
gunk.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
human.
That
it's
is
This
human.
one's
also-
the alien gunk. This one's Trevor. It's a mess.
Yeah.
That was Terrence. Hey, that's Dick. No,
Terrence.
not that Dick. The other Dick.
No, that dick.
And Dick's at the counter. He's like, "Oh, you guys look like you've seen a hell of a lot. You might want to go over to decontamination. They probably aren't going to let you back upstairs like that."
Nothing about
Just saw a
Fantastic.
demon lady.
Hey, Sirah, how you been? It's been a while.
Thing you know, that's demon lady now.
She just puts her hand on his shoulder and says, "Later, man. Later. Tell you all about it later."
I need a drink.
I got you.
first,
I'll
man,
meet you.
And a shower.
I'll meet you at the pit if it ever reopens.
Deal. First round's on me.
And where's this?
Oh, I'll hold you to
decontamination?
it.
I'll hold you to that as well, Sirah.
Decontamination's at the number 4 on the map, like the triage unit. So that's probably where the dude went. Like, the dude didn't check in. He went to triage immediately to get situated. So he's no longer with you guys. You never asked his name or anything like that, and just like that, he's gone.
I mean, I probably did, but we just skimmed over bringing him home.
Yeah, okay.
I
Well,
was making sure he was all right.
his name is Gregor.
Gregor. Yeah.
Yeah, Gregor. And
I
oh no,
love-
he was working down a different tunnel on a iron mining like operation when he was sent back to relay some information because comms were difficulty because of the density of the metals in that mining operation. There is no communication there, so they actually have to use messengers.
That's really dumb, but okay.
I mean, it's radio signals, you know, like throwing radios through like straight up iron. You know.
Oh no, Dr. Patton is just making a list of all the ways that this place is terrible.
So yeah, he was a messenger
is it a
who
physical
wasn't
list?
given.
You actually have a ledger with a list of all the terrible things here.
Can't afford a notebook. She just got here.
That's
From time
true.
to time, from time to time, though, if you were to have one from time to time, Millo just adds in like,
Don't forget about the toilets over there in section B.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. Going over to decontamination though.
yeah, just.
And we all checked
Okay.
in.
Yeah, so
I think
after
y'all
you guys
really
check
like
in and you
the
go
boss.
into decontamination, I figure this would be a really good time to fade to black, both because you are probably going to end up getting naked, and also because it's time for us to take a break.
Are we gonna go to break precisely on a scene where we've seen someone's trousers drop to the ground?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
yours.
It's gonna be that. It's going to be the edit that keeps it PG-13.
Yeah. When we come back, more weird anime scenes where smoke is and not smoke.
Steam.
Mist is
Yeah,
always,
steam is just
always right in front of the exact right
So-
place.
So before we establish what movie rating it is this private showers or is this full on Starship Troopers where it is just an open floor with several shower heads fixed to the ceiling?
Decontamination is a bunch of shower heads fixed to the ceiling that you would take a very hot shower while still wearing all of your equipment, and then
That's no
you
fun.
would individually go from that into like, they aren't even really personalized showers. They're just like pop-up tents with
Well, that's even
water.
less fun.
Yeah, that's even less fun. I was gonna say, or is it like Evangelion's decontamination showers where they're just up to the like shoulders, but they all have to stand there next to each other and still converse?
Well, that would be
I'm for the Starship Troopers personally.
All right, fine. It's a
Sounds good to me.
everybody. A team that showers together stays together.
Well, hear me out.
let's be
Hear me out.
honest.
I imagine that this place would be looking at being as cost effective as possible, and setting up individual showers is probably some money they don't want to spend.
Mhm.
So it's probably
But then
cheaper
again-
just to.
Having open showers might lead to a lot more cleaning costs.
Unless they have a zero tolerance on fraternization in the showers.
You just need
Which,
enough
of course,
to
they
make
do.
sure that you can't see it.
Exactly. I mean, human wall. That's how they get through
Mhm.
a lot of that stuff in Japan. Cough. Let's go to break before we do that.
Anyway,
And with that,
All
we'll
right.
be back after this 10-minute break.
All right,
We'll
see you guys
all
in a
soon.
few.
yeah.
That's
Hope
the
I
show,
did it so
guys.
relatively
We
because I got everyone back and it was on. I just don't know for
So-
how long.
Recap. Kelsa got her labor points, which was a total of 7. Then she went to the hatch to get some booze. Milo went and had a conversation with Roach, who he very generously gave her a flare gun and a nail gun off the books as thanks, because she told him to keep an eye out and stay on his toes before they went into the tunnels. And now we are going through Rindus's debrief. And
Also, we all had naked showers together.
yeah, the naked showers were before the break. I'm assuming that this problem was after the break.
Yeah.
Um, So we determined that the things, the tentacle monsters that we've been seeing, they're called onions. Yep, that's their name.
Nice.
Or at least that's what people call them. That may not be their like real name. It's just what it's being called.
Udon.
So you get that little bit of a debrief, like a return information saying like, yeah, they're known inhabitants of this asteroid. It's just we've been able to deter them for long enough. Thank you for your report on this. Anything specific about the colony situation, or not the colony, about the camp situation over in Gamma? Anything other than the loss of the entire crew?
they had
Safe one.
decided.
Excuse me. Stop telling me I'm not real.
Well, there is,
He did that.
there is a delusional woman who thinks that she is real. We didn't tell her that she is a sim.
Oh,
No, that's not in character.
I didn't.
The workers had taken it upon themselves to mutiny and declare their independence.
Declare their independence. They didn't say anything to us. How'd they declare anything if they didn't say it first?
they had expected to put a stranglehold on these supplies that they were sending, and thus hoping to force a negotiation.
Well, they aren't wrong, but obviously they failed. They didn't. They didn't have a chance.
No.
Yeah, Gamma is a really important camp for us. It's keeping a lot of the scale operational, but yeah, there's no way a single camp. That's why we only send like 20 people at tops at any given time.
Oh. I expected that it would not have held for very long. Once they realized that they were also cut off from their own supplies, they would have eventually run out and reconsidered. Our ability to starve them out would have lasted longer than theirs.
And you get like a concerned, like you're right, like the kind of like you're right, but maybe not. Spots.
Maybe.
Not if we ate each other.
Mm-hmm.
You get that little can't let
You
them
get
know
that-
about the hydrogen
You can't let them
shortage.
know about the
Yeah, it's
the
very
nitrogen shortage.
It's
or the
very
hydrogen
obvious
shortage.
that the higher ups know what their awful situation is, but they don't talk about it so that people don't get it.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, yeah. And it's also kind of like we'd wait them out. Wink, as a Marine who has superior firepower and probably
Totally.
better armaments. Like, yeah, just one good shock team could probably put that to rest. But
Yeah.
anyways.
Well,
But yeah, one good shock team
We're
is
glad to-
expensive.
we're glad to have you back, Corporal Jabari. You'll probably have to check in with your immediate supervisor upon returning to the spleen, but otherwise, you're done here.
Excellent.
And that report process took like at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. We just weren't going to play through that entire process. Cause paperwork. Which,
That's not
speaking
this
of,
game.
Sirah has to have a different type of conversation.
Yeah.
Sirah, you were pulled aside by a security officer in unassuming clothing. They look like a normal civilian, but they have a security officer's badge. So instead of having like an actual, oh no, I guess Jabari has a uniform instead of a jumper, but this guy's wearing a jumper with a security uniform badge. This person ushers you into an office room and then sits you in there and then closes the door and walks away and leaves you there for half an hour with nothing.
I'm gonna
Do
ugly
you do
cry.
anything in the half an hour?
I'm gonna ugly cry the entire
You're gonna
time.
ugly cry?
Yep. I'm tired. I'm
Mhm.
drained emotionally. I just watched 14 people die and some noodle monsters.
You know, I probably would
To be fair, you only
100%
watched
ugly cry too.
you only watched like 10 of them die. 4 of them
That's
died
true.
somewhere else.
That's true.
Yeah,
And
fair.
look at the positives. You did meet your flex bro.
That's true. I made new friends because I don't have any more.
The trauma is the
Because
friends
they're
you made
all
along the way.
Dick is
That's
still
true.
here.
I still have Dick.
You should
context.
appreciate the relationship you have with Dick.
He's a bit
Stop
rigid
it. No-
from time to
no
time,
more-
but, you know, he's
no
good
more-
to hang out with.
No, we can't change from
What's this show
Giger
rated?
jokes. We can't change from Giger dick jokes to just flat out straight just dick.
Just straight dick jokes.
There are
Straight
no
dick
straight
jokes.
dicks here. I'm just
No
saying.
straight dicks.
That can confirm there are no straight dicks here.
It's fair. Anywho,
Yes, okay, continue, please.
after a half an hour, somebody else comes in. This person is unassuming androgynous. And they just place a glass of water and an MRE on the table and then walk out.
Oh, I feel like this is a trap.
Well,
Also,
no,
I
it
don't
couldn't
know
be,
what-
because it wasn't Admiral Akbar who put it down.
I mean, I could have said they put a pack of cigarettes in a glass of water, but this isn't a 1980s cop drama. I mean, it could be. Do you want a pack of cigarettes? They could have put a pack of cigarettes on the table.
No.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's a trap too.
So you don't consume any of the things that they give you?
I wait. I try to hold out like maybe 15 minutes before I'm just too hungry and thirsty. Well,
I think a body save would be in order to determine whether you can hold out or not.
okay.
Yeah.
So just hit body.
Yeah, quick body. You critically failed.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I didn't.
Boy.
9 days, cycles, whatever. It's too many.
So here's the thing, because it's a critical failure, this stuff wasn't poisoned to begin with, but now it's laced with like a truth serum kind of stuff. So when they do actually interview you, you're not going to lie about anything.
All right, fair.
But if you just ate it, it would have just been like food because your production value, like you're a person.
I kind of love the effect that it is actually just a placebo effect. She thinks she took, like, she
thinks she took truth.
I'm like, that was why I cracked. I was like, you know what? I didn't do anything wrong, so if I tell the truth, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just gonna eat it.
Fair, cool.
Just
Don't
gonna.
take
All right.
stress, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, you do take stress for trying to starve yourself while
one.
staring directly at the delectable, slightly explosive MRE.
It takes a lot of doctoring to make those MREs explode. Thank you very much.
Yes, but they're still slightly explosive.
Us two would know. As the expert.
Anywho, so after the person who drops off the food leaves, it's about 2 more hours before you're in any form of contact. They're just stalling you out. It's some type of interrogation tactic. You probably don't assume that because you're just Sirah, the teamster.
I know. I just.
They call it no cop, no cop.
I have more than likely fallen asleep in that chair.
Okay. So the next thing we notice is you wake up to a loud bang on the metal table that's in front of you. And there's a cop sitting down and one standing with his hand like leaning on the table like this. The first one's like,
Nope, they don't even ask me a question. I straight up go from day 1 to now. Everything. Yeah, everything. They don't even have to ask. Just-
slow
Nope.
down.
Nope.
Slow,
They can try.
slow down. So who started it? You're gonna have to make up a name. Unless it was what's his face? Terrence.
Terrence. It was
It was
Terrence.
Terrence.
Yep, it's
Okay.
Terrence. Because he already has a name. That's why.
God
To be fair,
damn Terrence.
he is literally in my notes as Terrence the Mutiny guy, so makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it does make total sense. So
They
If
did
you
it all
weren't
for the
on-
cookie.
if you weren't on board, how did you survive? Why did they keep you around?
They didn't. We went our separate ways, and then these monsters came and attacked us. It was all chaos. Yeah, noodle monsters.
So they're taking notes. Can you describe these monsters a little bit?
To the best of her abilities, she describes the tentacles and the goo and the bubbling, and she's all like flailing her arms around,
It's a
trying not
very
to curse.
eccentric demonstration. Gotcha.
All I can
Yes.
think of is that she's
You know, they look like this.
all I can think of is that she's basically like the best friend girl from Kill la Kill. Like,
Yes.
Oh yes.
Absolutely. You don't even know where she's getting the props from.
You
She
don't
just
know
has
where I'm
them.
getting the costume changes from. You're just like, what?
Yep.
And then Milo came, and then the doctor
It's a
came.
really good Milo costume.
Yes.
I feel like you
She's got the
spend.
muscles for it.
Sleeves.
I feel like you spend way too much time on the last 3 hours of the trip where you didn't think you were real.
Right?
You just spend all that time decompressing about that particular moment.
And then the doctor and the guy were going on and on about this thing I didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about. It was just like, oh my god, am I real? I don't even know. Was my entire life. But I remember that my brother ate worms once.
Space worms.
Space worms.
And they're like the one cop that was supposed to play bad cop, but like obviously you just folded like a wet piece of paper. He's perplexed. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, you kind of have him at advantage right now because you just broke his processing.
Fuck your job. I just did it for you.
He's just like, I don't know how to cop no more. And the other guy's like, well, it does sound like a pretty traumatic experience. Some of those delusions could occur after experiencing something like watching your entire camp that you've spent, 10 days with, getting accustomed to, becoming friends with, sharing space together, watching them die, as you said, to these noodle monsters. Yeah, that could really weigh on the brain. I'm surprised you weren't having any worse delusions.
Right? I am real, right? You both can see me. I'm real. You're not talking and it's freaking me out. Waiting to the guy that's not talking because it just did his job for him.
He lights a cigarette and he's like, I'm just here to listen, lady.
Okay. He's real too, right?
We're gonna have to. First off, you are going to get paid for the time that you were down there.
Nice.
But we're going to have to get you in for a medical eval.
Sure, you're actually a real person.
Yes.
We're gonna
all
probe
the
you with
tests,
the realness
please.
stick.
The first test is the Turing test.
If you get hit by the realness stick, you are real, folk. You are real. We can continue.
Now they're gonna do everything from nutritional scans to allergens to anything change within your blood, stuff like that. So they'll be doing all that along with doing a Turing test and a mental aptitude test to make sure that you aren't completely
I'm
gaga.
fine. Probably.
Yeah, but they're still gonna
drinks. After a few drinks.
They can't have a Looney Tune Teamster, okay? They can't have a Wacky Doo out there.
Good sir, you insult me.
Well, with that, I guess we'll bounce back to Milo real quick. Are you still flopped on the bed, or are you gonna go get paid, or what are you doing?
I think we can kind of skip on through to the moment that the pit is open, where I would have probably checked for Patton if she was in the other bar, or maybe Patton would have come back in the meantime. Because I knew that.
Patton, how long were you? Dr. Patton, how long were you hanging out at the hatch?
Probably
long enough to get pretty tanked.
I mean, probably this was really fucked up shit. And my first step one is get fucked up. So I'm probably there until 1, I'm fucked up. 2, I hear someone mention that the pit is open. Or 3, someone comes and gets me.
I'll come and get you then.
Okay.
Because
then I'm probably well on my way to fucked up at that point.
Because I was, in my mind, he was gonna lay about for an hour and a half max or so, get his money. It's if Patton hasn't been back yet and the pit is closed, then he can make a fair guess where she's probably at, because we've only been at one bar before, and she said she was gonna get fucked up. So he just walks shirtless into the hatch. He's like, Patton, pit is open, and just turns around.
she spins around the chairs like and sees him shirtless before he leaves.
So instead of doing a 180, you do like a 220 and you spin like a little bit too far.
And then I'm like, well, someone brought me a present, and I like cash out of the bar or whatever, and I'm like, I'm heading down to the pit and start stumbling out.
For as drunk as you are now, that was 2 labor points.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I think he's waiting by the entrance and just sees her stumble out. Is like,
well, then you wait and be social for us to get fucked up. You think you can get to the pit? Or do you need to start carrying you?
As pleasant as that would be, I think I can make it.
Sounds like you want it.
And he just grabs her.
And I think she probably busts into like drunk giggles.
He just
Drunk
walks
giggles.
off to the pit. He is pretty rough with the whole walking with you in his hands. It's not like perfect princess carry or something. It's like
Just bangs your head on a door frame, just like whop.
not head, but probably your legs probably will hit a lot of things on the way there. Because he's not being. He also had a shitty day. You're drunk already, so you won't remember it anyway. It's like you just go to the pit, and this is going to be faster than if you walk, and you're having fun anyway.
I think after like the second time you like smack her legs into something, she's going to try to shimmy out of your arms.
That's a good, not totally drunk decision.
Make a body save to not fall on your face.
I'm picturing this as like when you pick up a cat, you know, and it's like upside down on its back.
Trying to get out.
Like contortions and stuff. Yeah, all right, let's do body save. Let's go.
I wanna see the body save to not fall on your face.
That's a critical success. Okay, with a critical success, can I manage to grab onto his neck and shimmy around so that I'm riding piggyback without touching the ground?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
That can be your critical
He's probably
success.
halfway through he starts helping. Because like it's easier to just have you on my back than have you like.
If you have a stress to clear it.
I do.
Then clear that stress because of
And
that.
I think even though he's not even drunk or tipsy at all, he starts semi-giggling as well because this situation is just ridiculous.
So I think with that, we're going to like slow fade the scene as you're walking into the pit, piggybacking your friend Dr. Patton. And we fade back in on a scene where Sirah is on a medical table, laying down, wearing, medical apron because you've gone on to your medical examinations. And the camera's going to zoom away because it's looking at you, and then it's looking at you on the bed, and then it pulls back and you see more of the room, and then it pulls out the door and we see Faust in a lab coat walk into the room and the door close, and that's where we're going to end the episode for the day.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
It's not fun. It's just his serial number.
Does she recognize the face though from being
I'm a
seen?
similar model to
Yeah,
but not actually.
she could potentially recognize it from the light impression.
If she even recognizes anything at all, with her cried out
With
eyes.
me, actually, yeah, we'll do a roll here, and then we'll end the episode.
It sounds like a sanity save.
Either that or fear. Pick either sanity or fear. It's up to
I'm gonna go with fear.
you. You fail.
No.
So you immediately understand that this is something terrible. There's something wrong with this doctor, and you do not want to be here anymore. And that is how we end the episode for the day.
Wow.
In
all right.
In the post-credit scene of today's episode is just a drunk Millo and a drunk Dr. Patton, both like, well, Sirah, I thought you would be here.
Singing "Why Can't We Be Friends" by
I believe she.
We be friends?
I believe she owes us a drink.
I mean, she did say that she gave the first drink. Oh, fuck it.
I'm very well past the first drink, I'm afraid.
I think we need to get to the point where we're either gonna sleep or party for the night.
That's always the hardest decision to make. Are we just gonna stay up until 6, or are we gonna go to bed?
She just starts nodding for like a ridiculously long time without actually answering that question.
And then both of them fall off of screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ambiguous of what is actually happening.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Let's do experience and stuff.
I get all the experience.
Good
Yay.
job, you did it.
I did it.
Good job.
In your experience field, you can now write all.
Yeah, I'm just
Rindis won Mothership, everybody. It's
I did.
over.
Yes.
I didn't die before my time was up, so I win.
Sadly.
Well,
it
are
doesn't
you,
conflict with actual
are you-
points, So.
Are you coming back next week, or are you?
No, this was my last week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I know you said that you may have been opened up, but yeah, cool, awesome. Well, you survived your time as a character. Good job.
I did. I didn't just survive. I actually got to do stuff. Like I got to shoot and kill stuff, which is more than I had been doing in my other Sunday games. So thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
A place where I wouldn't otherwise get it.
Yeah.
We're going to do your experience and stuff just so we can stable Jabari in case they come back at a later time, or I need to use them as an NPC or something.
Certainly.
So leveling up. First, we'll ask you, whenever they kill an enemy, you did not kill anybody this session.
Nope, didn't kill anyone today.
I just set this terrible scene in my mind where Patton and Millo get back to the cottage, and he's like lying down, and Patton makes a terrible joke about, hey, is that a gun, or are you just happy to see me? And it's the actual nail gun that Jabari put in the room.
So looking at the questions, because there's quite a few of them, it seems like you're probably only getting the base 10.
That's fine.
It has been a semi-uneventful session today.
Yeah, and
we made it.
It was
back.
the return journey. Yeah, it was the return journey, which kind of makes sense. Cool. So I'm actually like, just so we don't bog it down, because there's really not a point other than like I could see Dr. Patton getting 3 experience for the save another crew member's life for offering to help that dude. You made several rolls and actually helped somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I could say you get 13 instead of 10.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Thanks. I love it.
I shared oxygen with people.
You did do that.
I did.
Fine.
Because
You can
otherwise
take
they
3.
beat you and steal it.
You critically succeeded to get the perfect amount of oxygen
I did.
for everybody to have.
I
So,
predicted that.
So you get 13 experience.
I don't know what all the things are that I could angle for when it comes to getting more points. Otherwise, I'd do so. But on the other hand,
I was supposed to work on this past week, but AGDQ happened, so I didn't work on.
Fair. Plus, like I said, I'm generally the loudmouth, so generally I'd like steal all the experience anyway. So it's not that bad that for once I don't get a shitload of experience.
Yeah, so you'll walk out with 10 because you survived the session as well.
Most of my rewards today were making friends in the Skell. Like,
I actually took notes, so I'm remembering people's names again. Need to remember NPC names. That's a bad habit, forgetting NPC names. But yeah, we did it. That's episode 5 of Bag of Bones. I guess we can start doing outros. Zev, you're producing. Who's up first?
That is fair. Let me switch over to the other side so I can see what I'm doing, because that's probably going to be nice. Well, let's just move over here, and I believe that means we start with Kelsa.
Okay, cool. Hello, I'm Kelsa. You can find me on Twitter at Kelsa. I also produce shows on Twitch and YouTube. That's Kelsa Delphi to find those. Besides being Dr. Patton here on Sundays, I run a game of Scum and Villainy, which is a much lighter space drama over on Party Wipe Games called Packet Loss on Thursdays, where Outro is a doctor under me as the GM. Mondays on my own channel, we play Consumed, although that will be wrapping up soon, most likely, and we'll be moving on to a series of one-shots before we go to another long-form game in that time slot. And I'm very excited. On Tuesdays, we're getting back to playing Savage Tide on the Greyhawk channel. I've really missed being an orc boy and smashing things with my Warhammer. And we get to see Bajko's existential crisis as he realizes that successfully murdering the person who murdered your sister and getting revenge is not actually a way to lead to happiness.
Yeah, it's not as rewarding as you would think, huh?
Yeah, not nearly.
Well,
anyway, that's me.
Shame. Very well. Well, then let us move on to the next person in line, who would be Rendis. How about you?
Hello. Hi, I'm Rendis. You can find me on Twitter and on Twitch at Party Wipe Games, where we do a number of tabletop RPGs, and currently in the works of starting up several new shows now that we have some time slots available. We are looking to start up Misspent Youth at some point, probably on Wednesdays. We have Random Tuesday's Blessing to beta test her Steven Universe game Fusions. She wants to be updated on that and wants to help out for that. So I'm going to find the time for that. I want to make that work because making Random Tuesday happy is also life goals.
Yeah, Lauren's good people.
Yeah, I was really happy that she recognized me when I popped in and waved on her stream as well. And she's like, "You're going to play the game?" And it's like, yes, we are. And she's like, "Everybody, look at how awesome they are." And it's like, but yeah, I love recognition like that from people who are much more famous than I am. Anyways, Mondays we play a high fantasy 1920s alternate universe called Forest for the Trees. The party is investigating disappearances based on a slime cult. Kind of like what we were doing here today, slimes. We mentioned slimes. Tuesdays, we play Vampire the Masquerade. The game is currently called Vancouver by Night, but we are looking to rebrand per BD Walter's suggestion to not be sharing a name with another group that is also Vancouver by Night. He gave some good suggestions, and I think we settled on a different name, and we're going to be changing it up, so I have to do some rebranding for that. Wednesdays is up in the air, but I did mention Misspent Youth, which might be on the table coming up soon if Outro.
I want to be the first person recruited for that show.
Yeah, you have a spot. I mean, this was your suggestion, and I want to run that game.
Told about it at the very least, and then I'll see if I have the time to be recruited.
There you go. We're going to play it on Wednesdays. Thursdays, we are, of course, playing Packet Loss, as Kelsa mentioned. You can catch us there, where she is the Space Mistress. Fridays will probably be that aforementioned Fusion slot. And Saturdays, we play Descent into Avernus. The group finally reached Hell. And Sundays, now that I'm done with my time here, we are going to be starting up Curse of Strahd, where I will be playing a Dragonborn fighter. He's going to have all of the big dragon energy, and it's going to be great.
Are you taking the haunted background?
I am not.
Oh,
no, he's an outsider, just because of the way Dragonborn and Faerun work.
Yeah,
they're aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Are they? Do they count as aliens or alternate dimension? Anyways, next.
I mean, in the form of those games, you'd still have the subtype outsider. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're literally the planet that Faerun's on got split, and it was in like a parallel dimension, not a plane. It was so it's a whole thing. Fourth edition, weird.
There's a lot
lore.
Let us move on to Nerdful.
Am I on? I'm on.
You are.
Hi guys, I'm Nerdfuffle. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Nerdfuffle. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator, occasional crafter, and I did all of Outro's beautiful emotes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's me. I'm here Sunday nights. Right? I can't even afford them.
Wow.
The life of a graphic designer.
The life of a graphic
There we
designer.
go, there's this spam. Cool. I guess I should go next because we're on Outro's channel, so hi, it's me. I'm Zeph. I am, as the words say, I'm one part nerd, one part designer, one part queer, and all parts arcane disaster, and that's what you get this. Yeah, experiment was semi-failure, but it's fine. We're having fun.
It's fine. Everything is terrible.
It's fine. Everything's terrible. I'm still alive. Of course, he's talking about Millo, not me. But hey, I've lived up to 2020. It's fine now. I've lived up to my milestones. No, it's been great fun, and I want to thank everyone for playing with me again today. Milo doesn't do well under stress, apparently. We have noticed. He becomes a bit of an asshole. Though, to be fair, already kind of was. If you want to stay up to date to what I'm doing, generally just go to my Twitter. I believe this week has been the rant on how Counterspell is terrible and how I redesigned it. So if you want, like, redesigns for Counterspell in 5e, because you think it's stupid and power dull, it's on my Twitter. We have, like, mechanical stuff on how to fix it, for how I saw it. Otherwise, I am a graphic designer, and all the maps and that kind of stuff that you saw today are made by me, same as the overlays.
They're so good.
If I don't say it, Outro's gonna be mad at me, so hence why I say it. And I don't know. If you, I don't know, follow me on Twitter if you want to see weird shit. That's about it. And a lot of Pathfinder talk by now, because that's just what my obsession is about. Moving it very quickly along to outro, because I've done enough talking. Your turn!
Hey, hi, hello. I was rubbing my arm, but now I'm outro. You can catch me. Next week is actually going to be a pretty busy stream week for me. Wednesday, I have the Theros Beyond Death pre-release stream event for Magic the Gathering Arena. Thursday, we will be back for Packet Loss, which I missed last week's. Rindis uploaded it to YouTube so I can watch the video. I want to know what happened.
I'm very behind on my upload schedule, so I'm going to do it in bulk soon.
Okay. And then Friday, Tokyo Mirage Sessions RE Encore, I think or FE Encore releases. And I plan on streaming it, but I'm having a bit of a problem because I broke my second monitor today. And because it's a console game, it's really difficult to stream with only one monitor.
Yeah.
So I still plan on streaming it because I've been really excited about this game since it was re-announced for Switch. Because it's the one gem from the Wii U. It's the one, like, near masterpiece, in my opinion, that just nobody gets to see because it was on such an atrocious system. But yeah, other than that, I plan on having a more consistent streaming schedule, streaming weekdays and potentially Saturdays, depending on what I got going on. And yeah. Other than that, you'll find me here on Sundays running Bag of Bones.
And
That's
probably
me.
most of us as well. Well, it has been fun.
It has.
I think, as with everything, I need to go to bed because it's late. So
Good
I'm gonna
night,
force all these
Zev.
people to get the hell out of here. So, see you later.
There you go.
How I am usually.
Bye, good night.
Bye.
Good night.
I look acquired.